The night smelled of blood and rain. I stood at the edge of the forest, watching the village through narrowed eyes. Something was wrong tonight. The children's laughter had stopped hours ago. Even the crickets were silent. My armor felt heavier than usual. Each plate bore the marks of my curse, the silver etchings that burned under my skin, reminding me what I had become. Not quite human, not quite beast, just something in between that hungered when the moon rose. A scream shattered the silence. Not the scream of a woman, not the shout of a man. It was small, too small. A child's voice cut short, as if suddenly muffled by a hand over a mouth. My feet moved before my mind caught up. The curse inside me stirred, sensing prey. But this was different. Something else was out there tonight. Something that made even my cursed blood run cold. The village square was empty when I arrived. Doors were barred, windows shuttered. Yet I could smell them, the sickly sweet scent of vampires, ancient and ravenous. They had come for tribute and found something better. Small tracks in the mud, a dropped wooden toy, the scent of fresh blood barely masking the child's terror. I followed the trail to the old mill. The door hung from one hinge. Inside, 5 figures huddled around a small bundle on the stone floor. Their faces were pale in the moonlight, eyes burning with red hunger. One of them bent down, fangs extended toward the child's throat. "No," I growled. They turned. Their leader, a tall vampire with scars across his face, smiled when he saw me. "The wolf of Cursed Valley. What brings you to our feast?" "The child," I said, drawing my sword. "She leaves with me." The vampire laughed. "You save them, and they hunt you. Has it ever occurred to you that you fight for the wrong side?" The child whimpered. Her eyes opened, wide, brown, and filled with more fear of me than of the vampires surrounding her. That look always hurt more than any silver burn. "She's innocent," I said, though I knew they didn't care about innocence, only about appetites. "Innocent blood tastes the sweetest," the vampire leader replied, signaling his companions to attack. The fight was brutal. My curse gave me strength beyond mortal men, but vampires were old and clever. Their claws scraped against my armor, seeking gaps between the plates. One sank his teeth into my forearm, and I howled as his venom mixed with my cursed blood. Something inside me snapped. The transformation was always agony, bones breaking and reshaping, skin tearing as fur pushed through. But this time was different. This time the agony was fuel. When the wolf fully emerged, it wasn't just curse, it was purpose. I didn't just kill them, I unmade them. When the red haze cleared, the mill was a charnel house. Vampire parts scattered across the floor. And in the middle of it all, the small girl staring at me. She wasn't screaming anymore, just watching with those big brown eyes as I slowly changed back, wounds healing even as the pain made me want to die. "You saved me," she whispered. I nodded, unable to speak through the blood in my throat. "Will you stay?" I wanted to say yes, but then I heard it. Torches, pitchforks, the angry voices of villagers who had seen the wolf but not understood what it had done. "Monster!" someone shouted from outside. "Kill it before it takes the child too!" The little girl looked from the door back to me. Understanding dawned in her eyes. She understood what I already knew. They would fear me more than the vampires. They would hunt me until I was dead or gone. "You should run," she said, picking up her dropped toy. And so I did. Not because I was afraid of them, but because I had learned the cruelest truth of my curse. Sometimes saving someone means you can never be near them again. I run through forests now, hunt monsters in the dark. Sometimes I pass villages where children play safely because of what I've done. They never know my name. They never see my face. But I wonder sometimes, as the moon rises and the curse begins to burn under my skin, was I born a monster, or did they make me one? And more frightening still, what happens when the day comes